Hey everybody, today we've got a tier ranking for the 2026 Senate seats most likely to flip, and usually the biggest disagreements on these rankings are the ones that are borderline, just above or just below. But either way, we've got five tiers. We've got A, B, C, D, and F. Some people love an S tier or a Z tier or a double S tier. I think that's kind of silly. We've got A through F. A means they're pretty likely to flip. F means there's no chance. So let's get into it. Let's start in Alabama. Now we know it is Barry Moore for the Republicans, and until I hear otherwise, this one is going to be on the bottom. It's going to go in F. Doesn't mean there's no chance it could get under 10%, but it does mean there's almost no chance it's going to flip. But how about a more competitive state? We've got Alaska. This one could flip. Right now, I think it's too early. With ranked choice voting, the top four primary things are still getting sorted out, but this is good enough for the middle of the pack. It's going to go in C. Arkansas is next. This one's easy. It's going to go in F. Colorado is the same for the Dems. It's on the bottom. How about Delaware? You think this one has any chance at flipping? Neither do I. It's going to go in F. Now, Florida is a special election. It's a little bit different than just putting it clearly on the bottom. I think there's enough here that it could go into D tier. I don't think it's likely to flip at all, but it's not as clean cut as some of these other ones. Now, what about Georgia? This one is held by the Dems. So do the Republicans have much of a chance to flip it? I don't really think so. We'll see what Mike Collins does, but for right now, I actually think this is going to be in the D tier, but it's closer to C than it is F. Idaho's a state where maybe something interesting could happen with third party candidates splitting some of the vote, but for now, it's going to be in F. Illinois on the bottom, solid D state. Next, Iowa. This one obviously not safe, not at all likely to flip. It's going to be somewhere around the middle until we see what happens. We'll put it in C. Should be single digits. I don't think it's quite going to flip yet. Kansas is a state that might not be a complete blowout here for the Republicans. I don't think it's going to flip, but there's enough here to put it in D. Roger Marshall should hang on, but we'll see if it gets down into single digits. In Kentucky, this one, I don't think there's much going on here for the Dems. I think Andy Barr is going to take down Charles Booker pretty comfortably. It's going to go in F. Louisiana is similar. We still got a runoff there, but for now, it's going to go in F. Then we've got Maine. This is a state with a high profile Senate race. It's clearly got to go pretty high up. I don't think it's a guarantee to flip, but there's enough here to put this into B tier. Susan Collins is in danger. Plantner could win that seat. He's got a lot of baggage, but there's enough here that it certainly could flip. How about Massachusetts? No chance. Way on the bottom, F tier. Michigan is a state with some interesting dynamics. This one would be a flip for the Republicans. I don't think it's likely, but I think there's enough here to just put it into the C tier. Minnesota, I think this state, not a total slam dunk for the Dems, but not enough to really be in the conversation too much. A good place for this state is going to be in the D tier. Mississippi is one that it's borderline DF. Cindy Hyde Smith, she's not an electoral juggernaut, so I'm going to put her into the D tier. Montana, another state that could have had a potential three-way race. I don't think there's enough there to quite put it into C. I'm going to put this into D tier, but it's one to watch and see if it gets a little bit more competitive. Nebraska, it's the fabled Osborne-Ricketts matchup. Definitely can't put it in F. I don't think there's enough here to put it in C. Similar to Montana, it could get a little bit more competitive. So it is borderline C, D, but I think it's going to fall just on the other side of the line. It's going to go in D. If you go by the Osborne polling, though, you'd probably put it in C, maybe even B. In New Hampshire, I think this one is pretty much out of reach for the Republicans. Not a total guarantee, but there's enough here to put it into the D tier. New Jersey, this one gonna go in F. Cory Booker gonna hang on to that seat. In New Mexico, Republicans did get their write-in candidate to appear on the general election ballot. I don't think that's saying a whole lot. It is borderline DF. We'll put it in the F tier. North Carolina. This one I think is the most likely to flip. Roy Cooper over Michael Wadley. Dems would be flipping this seat. I'm going to put this in the A tier. It's not for sure, but if something's going to go on the top, it's got to be North Carolina. And right now, I think Cooper is fairly likely to win that seat. Next, Ohio. This is Brown and it's Husted. This one, I think Dems think it's a little bit more competitive than it is, and that is true based on some of the current polling. I don't quite fully buy that this state is just going to flip blue in November. It could, so that's why there's enough here for the C tier. For now, I think there's just not quite enough for me to put it in B. How about Oklahoma? Pretty red state, not much of a chance at this actually flipping. We're going to put this in F. Now we can zoom out, get the rest of the states in, and then we've got Oregon up next. Is this state going to flip? No. Is it going to get competitive? No. Is it going to get under 10? Doesn't look like it, so that's a pretty strong case for the F tier. Same story in Rhode Island, easy call, we'll put that in F. South Carolina, this one is not going to go in F. Probably not going to be a landslide here for the Republicans. I don't think there's enough to put it in the middle. So a good place for this is going to be in the D tier. South Dakota, another state where independence theoretically could make it a little more interesting. For now, I think the state is just too red. It's going to go in F. Tennessee, another pretty red state, this one also going to go in F. The last state that's not going to go on the bottom is Texas. This one clearly going to get a lot of attention. It's likely to be competitive. As for it flipping, though, not impossible. I just think that it's too much of an uphill climb for right now for the Dems. We'll see what happens, but it's going to go in the C tier. In Virginia, this one, Dems pretty much have it locked up. It's going to go in F. Their neighbor, West Virginia, an even more safe margin, is going to be also on the bottom. Possibly even more safe could be in Wyoming. This state also going to go in the F tier. And those are the tiers. It's pretty easy. North Carolina, the most likely state to flip this cycle. Maine, I think, is right behind. Then you've got the 5 states in C that have some potential, but it's a little bit too early. 4 of those will be flips for the Dems. Only Michigan would go toward the Republicans. The D tier states are pretty much out of reach, but 2 or 3 of them could come on the radar if things develop a little bit differently. So yeah, a few of these are borderline. It depends on how you want to look at them. The environment does look fairly blue right now, but the election is not today. I'm open to seeing some things happen and making some changes. But for now, these are the tiers for how likely I think each state is to flip. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about these tiers? I think it's going to be hard to disagree with much of it, but maybe you've got a completely different take. Maybe you think there's some dark horse dynamics going on in a couple of these states. Let me know what you're taking a look at down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.